What if I told you there is a place on Earth where a rainforest breathes, hidden in plain sight, surrounded by a desert that has forgotten what water feels like? What if that forest is perched atop a mountain of crystal, untouched by human hands since the beginning of time, and holds the key to saving life on this planet? And what if you could stand at its edge, feel the mist on your face, and know that you are one of the few humans in all of history to witness it? In the deep southeast of Madagascar, on the Ivohiboro Massif, the world plays a trick on itself. Below, the land is parched, scorched, a vast ocean of mineral and dust that stretches to every horizon. The sun here does not simply shine, it punishes. Fires rage across the savanna, turning the earth to ash, and for miles upon miles there is nothing but the crackle of heat and the ghost of what once was. But look up. Look to the peak of the Crystal Mountain, 1,500 meters above this furnace. There, where the air turns cool and thin, a miracle floats upon the clouds. It is called Ivohiboro, the lost forest. This is not a forest that clings to life. It is a forest that commands it. 14 square kilometers of impossible green, an island of ancient trees suspended above a sea of fire. From the valley floor, it appears as a mirage, a whisper of blue-green against the brown. But make the ascent, push through the clouds, and you enter a world that time forgot. The mist here is eternal, a soft, cool blanket that never lifts, and it carries the smell of wet earth, of orchids blooming in secret, of life so dense it hums beneath your skin. This is not new life, this is old life, ancient, primary forest that has never known the axe, never felt the fire, never bowed to the will of man. And because it has survived, it has become a sanctuary. Dr. Patricia Wright, the woman who discovered this place, described the moment she first saw it. To discover a rainforest in the middle of that arid, burned landscape stretching as far as the eye could see was shocking, exhilarating, like a mirage in a desert. The realization that a rainforest could thrive in central Madagascar gives me hope. Hope that we can still save what we have not yet lost. Inside this misty kingdom, the laws of nature seem to bend. Species that should not exist together thrive side by side. Deep in the understory, you hear them. The ring-tailed lemurs, but that is impossible. Ring-tailed lemurs are creatures of the dry forest, of the baobab-dotted plains. They do not belong in a rainforest, and yet here they are, their black and white rings flashing through the green, having adapted to a world that contradicts their very biology. They are ghosts of evolution, living proof that this forest is a refuge, a last stand against the chaos below. The scientists who followed Patricia into this lost world came from Madagascar, from Australia, from England, from America, from Poland. Over 30 of them, young, fierce, and driven by a single question: how did this place survive? They came to count the miracles, and what they found defies belief. Species never before catalogued, a blue-nosed chameleon, its colors so vivid it seems painted by a god drunk on starlight. The lavasoa dwarf lemur, a creature that existed only in rumors until it was found blinking in the beams of their flashlights. And frogs. The Madagascar frog, clinging to leaves so rare that every single one is a treasure beyond measure. Dr. Maifami, a biologist who walked these slopes, once said that every step in Ivohiboro is a discovery. You do not simply find species here, you uncover them. They reveal themselves to you as if the forest is deciding whether you are worthy of its secrets. And Dr. Edmund W. Basham, a herpetologist, spent nights listening to the calls of creatures no human had ever recorded, their songs echoing through the mist like the voices of ancestors. But why does this forest exist at all? How did it survive while everything around it burned? The answers lie in the rock, in the ancient geology of the Crystal Mountain. This peak is old, older than most things on this island, and it creates its own weather. The clouds gather here, trapped by the elevation, and they release their moisture in a constant, life-giving mist. It is a self-sustaining world, a closed loop of survival that has operated for millennia. It is a measuring stick, a benchmark of what nature can accomplish when humanity simply steps aside and lets it breathe. Yet even miracles are fragile. The fires below creep closer every year. The climate shifts, the rains become unpredictable, and the desert hungers for the mountain. The scientists who studied this place did not come merely to marvel. They came to learn. They came to understand how this forest resists, how it fights, so that they can teach other forests to do the same. They are building firebreaks, planting native trees, creating corridors of life that connect Ivohiboro to the fragments of green that still gasp for air in the surrounding wasteland. They are fighting for every inch. This is the paradox of Ivohiboro. It is a place of profound isolation, yet its survival is tied to everything beyond its borders. It is a relic of the past, yet it holds the blueprint for the future. If we can protect this one forest, if we can learn its secrets, we might just learn how to restore the others. We might just learn how to bring life back to the scorched earth. And so the question returns, what if there is a place on Earth where a rainforest breathes, hidden in the clouds, defying the desert below? What if it holds creatures found nowhere else, trees that have stood since before our ancestors walked upright, and a message that could save us all? Now you know. It is real. It is Ivohiboro, the lost forest, a sanctuary untouched by time, but perilously threatened by our own. And its story is still being written by the scientists who study it, by the lemurs who sing in its mist, and by every one of us who chooses to care. If this story stirred something in you, if you felt the pull of that mist, the call of that ancient green, then you understand why we cannot let places like this disappear. I invite you to share your own story of exploration in the comments below. Have you ever stood in a place that felt forgotten by time? Have you ever witnessed a wilderness that took your breath away? Tell us, because the more we share these stories, the louder the echo becomes. And if you want to journey with us to the ends of the earth, to the last wild places that still defy belief, then subscribe. Join this expedition. The next lost world is waiting.